Hi, and welcome to our online crop. With the online crop today, well, actually, it's going Friday and Saturday. So if you are not on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations and you would like to join us for the online crop, it's going on this weekend, Friday night and Saturday morning. Just join us on Facebook at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. And today we're going to learn about making some different types of flowers. In your Craftology box, you received your scored tape this month was the 6x6 sheet, and you're probably wondering, what am I going to do with that? Well, let me show you. So I want to show you, this was the lace that was in there. This was some of the embellishments. This lace was not in there, but I wanted to show you. These are the flowers that I made with my score tape. Let me move those over. This one's a little bit larger, and then I used the flat back acrylic for the center. And this was made out of that just the lace I gave you. Isn't that adorable? And the nice thing is it matches your paper line, and it's another way to use what was in your Craftology box for March. And wasn't it a fun box? So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is show you the different punches. So for the bigger one here, I used my 2.5-inch punch. But for those smaller ones, I did use just the punches that you may already have in your drawer. If you do not have punches, don't worry, just cut a circle, and it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. For the first one though, in your kit, you receive different colors of this type of ribbon. So it looks like I have bits and pieces. So I'm going to go ahead on mine and just use my bits and pieces, which is also going to show you you can do it with just bits and pieces. Now maybe I'll use the green just because I do have some of the green over here too, and I'm going to go ahead, even though it's still just bits and pieces left on this spool, I'm going to cut another piece. But you can do it with one piece with your 2.5. Now, if you have anything a little bit smaller, that'll work too. I'm going to start with my 2.5-inch punch, and I bet you didn't know you could punch your score tape sheets. I'm turning this over because I don't want to waste any of my score tape. And I don't want to put it all the way in because I am going to waste some if I do that. I want to just get right on the edge of my punch. Now, your score tape has the covering on both sides, so you can remove either side. It doesn't matter. What's nice about this flower is after you've made it, all you have to do is peel off the back of your score tape. And it now will adhere down onto your project that you're working on. So these are great for your cards, for the front of mini albums, for all your projects. Maybe if you're making the Mussy Tussy that Kim posted that she made with the springtime papers. And again, with the smaller circle that I used, you just take off the back, and now it's just going to adhere down. I do use the hot glue gun here. You could use your score tape, but I like to use the hot glue on there. So we're going to get started. So I have my circle, and I'm going to start with my longer piece, and I just kind of bend it over so I have a closed edge, and then we're just going to go back and forth and see it's just hanging a little bit over the edge. You just want it to be barely there, and this really doesn't take long, so I don't want to speed up the camera, but as you're going, you're just going to weave back and forth. You're not going to worry about if it looks straight or perfect. I've never seen a straight or perfect flower in nature because they're all perfect regardless. Now you can do these different colors. So you can do this first row in the green, and maybe you want to move on to a pink or a blue. And you want to have more of the rainbow. You can see I'm just kind of tugging a little bit because it will stick as we go. So I'm just pulling that loose from that area. Try and stay here in camera. Now, as we're getting here to our beginning point, go ahead and lay it flat, and then just start right there, and let's make our second row. Now, now I can't talk this out this morning. Not only does this save you a lot of running back and forth to the craft store, it saves you money, and it also makes it so that you can match your projects. Now, see, I still have a little spot there, and I could either take it up, but I'm just going to take another little piece. I'm going to stick it there. And if you're unhappy, like I can see some of the tape, just go ahead and loosen it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and open, oh, I did open this one package, so I have these two left. But I think I'll go ahead and go with the yellow. Now for this, you can use any adhesive. You can even use your Scor tape. I'm just going to use my hot glue. And the hot glue will not affect when you pull your tape off the back. See? So now I have two really lovely flowers that can go on my projects. And let's go ahead and let's make this lace one. Now for the lace, I went ahead and I used, and it doesn't matter if it's scalloped or straight. We're going to go ahead and punch that. I'm going to remove the back here, and then you will have received this little packet of lace, and it won't take all of it, but I don't cut it yet. So once again, whoops, so you have a scalloped edge and then a straight edge. You'll want your scalloped edge out. Again, I just kind of, I'm going to put the edge of this more in the middle of my circle, and I did like layer it back, because you can even tack that down or glue it down. Now on the lace, I like to bring mine a little tighter of the weaving back and forth. So if you sew, it's almost like when you're doing your, you know, gathers, but you're not using a gathering thread. Now as you're going around, just kind of keep that in the middle. And again, we can do this just one layer on the smaller. You can use your bigger circle and do it more than one layer. And this little guy is going to want to kind of curl up on me for some reason. And then when I get back to that starting point, now if it does curl up on you and you don't like it, it's probably, you can spread it out a little bit more. Actually, that's going to be the case because it's so wide. So just take it off. Just cut off that part I just messed up. But I will not get rid of this because it will be used for another flower. So let's go ahead and put this closer to the outer edge, since for some reason it just wants to curl on me today. And it's probably the width. So, and a lot of times you're going to get papers, or, you know, you'll pick up different things you love, but you just can't match the flowers for some reason. The color is just a little off, and I noticed that happens a lot with my G45 papers. Unless you're going to dye it, it's really hard to match. Now, I'm just going to overlap my starter. Make sure you cut it straight, don't cut it at an angle. And then I'm just going to bend this back a little bit. And match up with the seam. Now, mine's not sticking as great as it should because I did pull it up. Now right there, if you want it to come together, this is my famous, watch Tammy burn her fingers. Just add your little bit of hot glue throw your flour on the table for a minute. There we go, until you can handle it. It is going to be hot. Cut that off. And since I already used on this one, I used that other circle, I'm going to go ahead and use my blingy center. There is a little adhesive there, and it's really not enough. So I'm just going to put a dot there. And now I have the flowers that will match my projects that go with my spring paper. Isn't that pretty? And all done with my Scor tape. So I want to also go through one more with you, because in your stash, you might say, oh, look, I've got all, everybody has a stash bag like this, I'm sure. This one I just love. And we've also got, I've got this left over. So I'm just going to grab one, which is this one. Now on this one, I'm going to go ahead and use my punch again. And the whole thing with the Scor tape is you can turn Scor tape, that always falls off. You can turn Scor tape into so many things. You can also take this off. You can glitter it. The glitter will stick. And there's so many fun things you can do with it. Actually, I'm going to cut it. Excuse me, I need more of a straighter edge. And once again, go around. Now, you can also use seam binding. You can do this with seam binding, and it comes out like that first one. But look how cute this is going to be because of the scalloped edges. And you are going to be so excited with your creations when you put them on your handcrafted projects. Everybody's going to want to know where you got those flowers, and now you can say, I made them. That's always fun. Yes, I apologize. The phone is close by. Not only can you say, I made them, but they're unique, one-of-a-kind flowers. So we're going to end in the center. Look at this. Now, don't tell me you're not excited. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead with a green because that just really is shabby chic and it just screams green to me. And I'm going to put that in the center. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, okay, on the heavier lace, you see how I have a little spot there that's up, and it kind of might come undone. I am just going to put a touch of hot glue, hold it down, and we're good. Now, when you remove the backing, because it's very, very translucent, so you no longer will see it. Isn't that pretty? And when you put those on your covers of your albums, you have such a one-of-a-kind. Now for this little one, you just use your smaller, and you can even go as small as this, but you're going to want to use your tiny, tiny one with your seam binding. In the February kit, some of you may have received some of the, I call it like the candy, because it reminds me of that candy, Christmas candy. And again, for that one, I want to use my large punch. And don't get rid of these little pieces. Oh, heavens no, you can use them for lots of things, just when you need a quick piece of score tape because look, it's still tearable. So you just tear off that piece. A lot of people don't realize the sheets are terrible. Not terrible, you can tear them. And now I have a piece. Maybe I need to just stick it up in a corner, or, you know, I just need something really quick on an envelope. And you don't need to throw these away. I never throw them away. I can prove to you I never throw them away. They're always kept in my score tape bucket, no matter what size. So let's make another one so I can show you. You can make this with so many different laces, and do not throw away your lace scraps because they can now be turned into flowers. So if you have that morning or afternoon and you just are not wanting to start a major project, but you want us to do something crafty because it's in our blood, grab your score tape, 6x6 sheets, and start punching. Now you can also purchase this in the 8.5 by 11 inch sheet, and I use this a lot, as you can see. I use it for my album covers. And the 6x6 sheets, if you wanted to purchase more, they do come 5 to a package. So you have tons there. Now look at this one. This one I can see definitely on a wedding album, a baby album, a very shabby chic album. And some, now on your smaller ribbons, you're going to get about 3 layers. On these thicker laces, you're only going to get 2 layers. Now you can hand cut bigger circles. Now, because of the thickness of this too, right here in the middle, it doesn't have enough stay power. I'm just going to touch my glue gun there. Now that I can touch it and hold it down. And I think we're going to go with the pink. These little flat backs are so fun. And again, when I take this off, see, it won't be seen. You'll only see the paper underneath. Now I can see that I have just a few spots, and actually it's down, but I just want my lace to lay a little flatter. And you can use a hot glue, you can use a fabric glue if you need to, but most of the time you won't need to. Now look how unique. And that is how you make your score tape, excuse me, ribbons and flowers. You can make them with seam binding. You can make them with, like we did, this ribbon had the little, might help if I get it in camera. This ribbon had the little scalloped edge, and you can make it with your straight ribbon. You can make it with any ribbon that you have left over in your stash. So that brings us, that's going to bring us to our first challenge of our crop for, and this is our first crop of 2016. So our challenge is going to be for you to create ribbon, excuse me, I'm so sorry, ribbon, lace, whatever you like, but using your score tape that came in your kit. And if you didn't order the Craftology kit, oh please, this does not exclude you. You can make this with, if you have any leftover sheets of score tape and anything that's sticky. Actually, you can cut a circle, so I don't want you to be left out of this challenge. Take your punch. Let me show you how you can do this, because you're probably saying, I don't have score tape. Okay, take your punch out a circle. Whoops, make a lot of noise. Now, what you're going to do is use your glue adhesive. You want to use maybe you do have score tape. Okay, it'll just take a little extra. Now you can use your wet glue also, But go ahead and layer this circle. Just let it hang over because you're going to cut a circle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, I'm going to actually lay that down. But after you make these ribbon flowers, even this way, you're going to be wanting your score tape, and it's not even expensive. And when you figure how much you're saving making your own flowers, you will see it's not expensive. The score tape sheets, because I think you get them for under $5. I'm terrible, I don't know my prices. So I'm going to now remove the backing. There was that spot there, and I had this little spot here where I messed up. So now what I'm going to do is take my score tape, and you can use any adhesive that you have. You could even probably use your ATG. I don't know how well it would stick, but you could incorporate some glue in there, glossy accents maybe. Now I have my circle. So if you want to do the challenge, because all the challenges are going into the drawing, and so if you want to create, you don't have score tape sheets, create your circle, create it, make your flower. If you have a fabric glue that you like, just put your glue on there, wait for it to get a little tacky, and start working your lace around. It'll be messy, so just be careful. But right here, try it with your ATG, try it with your red line, whatever tape you have, make your circle, get your flowers made, and let's get them posted for the challenge. And I hope that this is my favorite. I'm in love with this. So I hope you had fun. And now you can see what you can do with those little flat backs that came in your Craftology kit. And that's one thing about the Craftology kit. It's all about not a kit where you have to make something. It's about a Craftology kit to bring out your creativity. Graphic 45 button could go right in the middle. You could use so many things to embellish your flowers, to make them unique, to make them yours. Have fun, and I can't wait to see what everyone posts for their challenges. Thanks for watching. Whoops. And I'll see you back at the crop.